I told you, Big Bull, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, this is the ET Now exclusive.
Rakesh Bhaiya, my friend, philosopher and guide. So, I would say that, there is so much inspiration people have taken from you. So people know what Rakesh Jhunjhunwala of today is. So why don't we go back to your early days and talk a little bit about how did you came in the markets, who was your real guru, how did you learn about markets in the beginning, and...
I think Madhu, that's all known, I think now.
No, it is not known. It's very, very little.
First, Madhu, I would like to contest the assertion made by that gentleman from State Bank that markets are not given return. I started my life with 5,000 rupees. If markets not give return, I could have earned the wealth you had. These financial advisors could not have flourished, right? And I don't know on what basis you say that markets have not given return. I think, Ramdev, you do so much research. What compound return the index has given you? Which other asset in India has given it? Has real estate given it? Has interest given it? Has jewelry given it? So I don't know why he's a fund manager and he asserts that equity doesn't give return. It's a big disappointment. And sir, they are all asserting there should be blood on the streets. Please be careful what you are saying. Their clients will not come and hit you, they'll hit all of these people here. That there should be blood on the streets. The only problem is wherever there has been blood on the streets, all the people think I'm smart, some part of the blood has also been mine here.
Okay, let's just talk about little early days. How did you learn about markets in the beginning? Because there are so many young people who take so much inspiration from you.
See, markets can't be learned, can't be taught, they have to be learned. And I think the biggest quest to learn anything is curiosity. If you're curious about something, you'll go on digging, go on finding out. So, my father used to invest in the markets and in the evening he used to discuss with friends. And I was always a very inquisitive and a very, my father, ye kyo, wo kyo, very curious child. So I used to ask him, what is this century's price going up? And tomorrow Gujarat State Product is going to come down and Grasim, Gwalior Rayon will go up. So tell me, you read the news and see when the news comes about Gwalior Rayon, if the news is good, the price will go up. So at that time the market was from 12 to 2, I was in school and in college. So we could know the price only next day. But I used to follow the markets and then I got more and more curious. Then my father gave me, the International Labour Organization had made a book of how to read a balance sheet, for labor. So that laborers, so people, union members can understand what is a balance sheet. Anyway, they say like a balance sheet is like a bikini. What it hides is, what it shows is alluring, what it hides is vital. But nevertheless, we learn to read a balance sheet. And then, I don't know here, I got fascinated by stocks. And my father was a person who always allowed me to do what I wanted. But he told me, if you want to go to a stock market, first get yourself qualified. So I went, I qualified myself as a chartered accountant. And my dad said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to go to the stock market. So he said, what will you do? I said, I invest. He said, where's the money? Kabhi aise nahi karna, aise kar dunga. But he said, you have a house, you can live here, right? And you're a smart fellow. If you don't do well in the markets, you can always earn 20,000 rupees a month, which was a princely sum in 85, right? And you can survive, but I'll not stop you from doing what you want. I have a house, you can live here, right? Do what you want in life, don't ask me for money. Remember, your word is a bond and be fearless. And may God bless you, for He is the only blesser. And then I came with 5,000 rupees, I had a bag. I used to stand outside the ring. If I tell anybody there that my father is in the income tax department, they won't talk to me only. So I used to tell them my father has a shop in Mulji Jeta market. And my brother, who's a practicing chartered accountant, he introduced me to some of his clients. They used to get 10-12% in the bank. I said, I'll offer them 18% interest. So my first 2.5 lakh loan, the lady asked for security. I said, there's no security. So she said, okay, I'll give you 1,25,000. Then after 10-15 days, clearing 15 din mein hoti thi. You give me 1,25,000 worth of security, I'll give you 1,25,000 more. So that's how I started. Another client of my brother gave me 10 lakhs. And in the first year itself, I earned 25 lakhs from that 12.5 lakhs. I remember I bought shares of Tata Tea and, TCI and some companies made a lot of money. And then, you were saying about the budget in 19, then with all the money that I earned, I bought shares of Tata Power. And this was in 85, 86. For 2-3 years, there was no earning, right? But I got married by that time. I used to live in a family. My father used to run the house. I had no need for money. 2000 रुपए की सिगरेट दारू पीते थे वो निकाल लेते थे अब समझे ना और कोई खर्चा नहीं था My wife came from a well-off family, but she was very simple, right? And we managed. Then the value of this Tata Tea shares became, this Tata Power shares became ₹1 crore in 1988. And then there was Mr. Sharma, who was very bullish on Sisagua. And he convinced me, and I bought.
That was your real initial.
Yeah, I bought at least 10 lakh shares of Sisagua at ₹25 on leverage. Right? And about 4 lakhs of them I sold at ₹65 in 3 months.
Sure.
Then I got the initial capital, then Sisagua's price became ₹100. And then I remember there was a strike by Nair in Telco. So myself and a friend of mine, we went there, we bribed the police, the security went inside the factory. And here there was so much, Telco was 96, 97 rupees and the factory was working perfectly.
Sure.
And we bought a lot of shares of Telco. And then the budget of 1989 came. That's where I really made my money that, people were so bearish, I can't tell you. We went to meet Nimish Shah. Nimish Bhai said, the index is 640, is 600. If income tax is abolished, the index will go to 650 and will come back to 500. I never seen, they say, Madhu Danwate will impose a tax on education. I mean, if I send a child to a private school, he'll have to pay tax. No, boss, this is a coalition government. Education is a state subject. To impose that tax, you have to amend the constitution. For 25 crores, is not going to amend the constitution, a coalition government. So there was no doubt that the level of despondency and bearishness was its highest. Nimish Bhai was very bearish. Radhakrishnan.
Are you seeing anything similar now? Is that despondency?
No, not that kind of despondency. That despondency had to be seen to be believed. I mean, someone bought 400 rupees, किसने 400 रुपए में एसी से लिया और 500 रुपए का नुकसान किया क्योंकि 100 रुपया भाव हो गया और 200 रुपया बदला लग गया.
Sure.
So there was that kind of bearishness and that kind of money people had lost. And that ACG sold within 3 years at 10,000 rupees. Sure. Right? And then I staked my life. I bought everything, Telco, this, that. And I remember the budget used to come at 4 o'clock. And 12 o'clock I got shit scared. I said, okay, I'm worth 2.5 crores. But मैंने कुछ 25-30 crore का माल वायदे में ले लिया. And I said, ये कुछ गलत होगा, तो I'll be on the road. So I short sold shares worth 10 crores. And when I squared those shares in the evening, I had lost at least 2 crore rupees in those shares. But next day my net worth was 20 crores. And then we had the rise. Then, I remember the Gulf War started. And the Economist magazine wrote an article, has Dalal Street ever heard of Saddam Hussein? Because all markets in the world went down except Dalal Street. So we sold our position on the top, we shorted. Then again it came down. Then the Manmohan Singh government came. Narasimha Rao. I mean, we had a run. And when we knew that this Harshad Mehta is a fraud. That this money is not legitimate. And the amount of money we made in the fall, so chal gayi.
Fantastic. So, you have publicly spoken about Radhakrishnan Damani being your mentor and playing a big role in your life. Who are the other people who actually influenced your thinking in early days? And who do you really admire in markets?
First was my father, because see, the basic values which I had in life and the sense of independence and daring I had came from the basic human qualities that my dad gave me. Right? Then I think, I don't know that the amount Mr. Radhakrishnan is effective. Ramesh Damani is there, Kamal Kabra is there. I have a friend who passed away very young called Rajiv Shah. See, one thing is that we all 5-6 of us, we always thought of doing right. Right? And we were always paranoid about success and never took it for granted. I think one thing which is very crucial is, if you think of yourself, what is the mistake all of us made in the mid-cap? We extrapolated that profit of 2 years to the next 20 without examining the business models. It's not the immediate which is important, do they have the business model? Is there demand there? Is there barrier there? If the margin has gone from 10 to 15, is that margin sustainable? So this extrapolation of, we never extrapolated that, maybe in 1988 my net worth was 1 crore, in 1993 it is 200 crores. That doesn't mean in 2000 it's going to be 800 crores. Yeah? In 2002 also my net worth was 250 crores. So we cannot extrapolate things. You take success with Peronia and it's always transient and temporary. And always start to do the right thing. And when you see an opportunity, don't do it yesterday, don't do it today, do it yesterday. Just make the opportunity. Normally in my portfolio I carry a debt about 5%. Between September 2001 and September 2003, I carried a debt which was at least 40% of my portfolio. But at what valuation shares were available? Great Eastern was available. His book value was 58. His certified fleet value by the largest shipping broker in the world was 88. He used to give a 3 rupees dividend and earn 8 rupees per share. And I must have bought 5 million shares at a price of 25 rupees. So I used to borrow money at 9%.
So that is my question. A lot of us know that you all want to invest for long term, right? But you have this extraordinary sense of patience that once you invest into something, and in a lot of times I remember I got to know you in those days. Even Great Eastern Shipping did not give you any return for 8 years apart from the dividend which you made out of
Not 8 years. I bought in 2002, 3, 4. I sold in 2006, 7 and 150.
Well, let's say it did not give you.
No, I did not
return for a long period of time.
It's a wrong impression that they are not stocks which I have bought in. The public sector stocks I made the biggest. I know I bought Bharat Electronics at 30 rupees.
What I'm trying to ask is, what gives you that conviction to hold on the stocks for such long period of time and not, first of all, things which don't work out, obviously everyone sells out.
A company in which I feel there will be no dilution of equity and there will be growth. I see no reason to sell it. If there is going to be growth, right? If there's a temporary upsurge in valuation, that doesn't mean that should be a reason for selling.
Sure.
Right? And another thing is I'm not so smart that I can sell at a high price and then I know there are cheaper companies, I'll buy them. So if I have something good in life, I should stick on to it. And I tell you, I sold all my public sector stocks. I made so much of money in Bharat Electronics and Bharat Earth Movers and Shipping Corporation. Why? Because, see, these are large companies, but they need constant management. At a certain valuation, they need dynamism.
Yeah, the market goes through their own cycles. And see, all of us in the room have identified a lot of stocks. But what we did not have, I speak for a lot of people, that even when we had winners in our hand, because of the market cycles and because of the pessimism which surrounds around a stock or around the industry or the market, we actually end up selling stocks. But we have seen you, even let's say for Titan, Titan would have corrected so many times, maybe 30-40% from its high, 50% from the high. But you still kept on holding. So what I'm trying to understand is, what gives you that conviction? What kind of preparation?
See, one thing is there, Madhu, that if Titan has given me 100% return in 3 years. Now, if it gives me a 15-18% return after that, yearly for the next 3 years, why should I sell? So my expectation is not that because I got this 100%, I'll sell Titan and I'll search for the next 100%. Because that's not easy to replicate, let's admit that. Right? Second thing is, it's not that I keep buying stocks to any valuation.
Sure.
That means, that doesn't mean that, if I buy at a high valuation, I have no ability to hold on to that if the stock goes down. Right? So it's not, sometimes I have Lupin. In the peak I had 1 crore 50 lakh shares, I still have 11 million. But the stock went to 2200 and today's 820, I didn't sell, I regret it.
So, but do you regret not selling it at 2000?
Well, not regret karne ki baat kya, it is regretful. That if 3 years later, 4 years later, you may be anybody in life, the result shows, no?
Yeah. So
if something which is 820 and which was saleable, I sold 15 lakhs, right?
Sure.
So the question is not that always holding is in your benefit. See, that's what is the thing, that just because I have earned a large quantum of wealth,
Sure.
right? So it is only the success stories or the success facts which are known.
Sure.
Nobody talks about my mistakes. गाँव हमको शानात समझते हैं, हम मालूम है हम कितने गधे हैं.
No, but that is what.
That's the reality of life, Madhu.
Yeah, that's what you are trying to.
You have to examine.
That's what you are trying to understand. That let's say, supposing
Yeah.
we talked about Titan, which is a success story, and we talked about Lupin, which yourself said the stock is
Lupin
down.
also, for me, the cost of Lupin is 8 rupees.
But the stock is down 60%
Yeah.
from the peak.
Yeah.
So, what was your hypothesis for not selling it at that time, and what keeps you?
No, because
what is keeping you holding that company to even?
Because I didn't expect that Lupin, it went from 600 to 2200 in 3 years.
Sure.
So my judgment said that Lupin will not penetrate 1400, 1500 on the downside.
Sure.
And I'm still holding on, and I'm longer term very bullish on Lupin.
Sure.
I'm bullish on the pharma industry.
Sure.
And Lupin is one of the good players there.
Sure. And they are, obviously all of us make mistakes, and you must have also made some mistakes where you lost a lot of money. See, when we make a mistake, let's say if a 100 rupee stock goes to 50 rupees or 60 rupees or 40 rupees, we know that there is something wrong in the company. But emotionally, people can't reconcile and book the loss in those companies. And I know few examples in your life has also happened like that. So, what is the learning? When you should say that you have to cut your loss in this particular fund or with this particular management?
First of all, Madhu, in my life, you said about regrets and all. Life is not about regrets. Sure. Life is about learnings.
Sure.
Right? I would like to learn from every mistake I make.
That's right.
And I pray to God that I am not afraid to make a mistake.
That's right.
I only want to make one which I can afford, so that I may live to make another one.
Sure.
Because if I'm afraid to make a mistake in life, I'll be paralyzed.
Sure.
And I'm going to make a mistake. Nobody is God. Everybody's going to make
Absolutely.
So see, I'm a very, very conducive investor in terms of valuation.
Sure.